Tennessee courts reversing a controversial decision aimed to replacing the words mom and dad, mother and father on certain court forms with parent 1 and parent 2.
The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord.
Well, children in Tennessee no longer allowed to have a mommy and a daddy. Well, at least on some official documents. Yes, the state's Office of the Courts has revised their paperwork. They've replaced the words mother and father with the gender-neutral labels of parent 1 and parent 2. Tony Perkins is the president of the Family Research Council. And Tony, I'm guessing you're not too happy about this move.
Well, Martha, look, brace yourself for more of this politically correct foolishness. In the wake of the court redefining marriage, there are those who feel like they have to redefine parenthood to shore up this decision, but denying and defying the basic facts of biology. I mean, this is really politically correct absurdity. This is what there's no other way to describe it.
I don't know how you decide who's parent 1 and who's parent 2.
Well, that's going to be interesting. I mean, how do you decide that? Is it a, do you draw lots? Do you have a baby toss? Do you
maybe
arm
on
wrestle?
some nights you feel like parent 1, on other nights you'd rather be parent 2, right?
Well, it's interesting, Martha. It used to be the kids that did played make believe. Now it's the progressives and it's the bureaucrats that are making like gender doesn't matter in the creation and the raising of children. And this is problematic because this is a document, first off, that matters, a birth certificate. And where does this lead? If you no longer have a mom and a dad, you have parent 1, parent 2. I mean, there's significance in having a mother and a father.
All right, but what do you do for the 2 million children in the United States who have LGBT parents? What do you do for the gay and lesbian parents who are raising 4% of the adopted children in this country?
What do you do with the other the majority of Americans who have a mom and a dad, or every child has a mom and dad. That's the basic biology. And the birth certificate serves a purpose. But here what you have is you're redefining parenthood for a small percentage of the population that wants to be accommodated. And there's ramifications to this because this will bleed over into education. It'll bleed over into every other aspect of life. In essence, this is really a denial of nature. And what I find ironic about this, Martha, is those very ones who are so deferential to nature when it comes to the environment, are contemptuous when it comes to nature and human sexuality.
Something to think about. Tony Perkins, thank you very much.
The court claimed it was only trying to support gender-neutral parenting and apparently did not anticipate the outrage. What were they thinking? Joining us right now to react is psychiatrist and Fox News contributor and all-around smart person, Dr. Keith Ablow. So, Keith, they reversed it or they're reconsidering it, but you think this is all about redefining marriage, correct? That's what the courts did.
Sure. Look, this is a set of dominoes. The minute that you say that you can redefine marriage, and people can think about that what they want, but it's a fact that the minute you say that same-gender couples can marry, then certain rights would fall to them, and you would start cleaning up the language so that it doesn't say mother and father anymore. It says parent 1 and parent 2. Now, by the way, we would be doing that without any real data about what it means to grow up in a same-gender household, what it means if you're a boy and you don't have, Freud would have a lot to say about this, other psychiatrists would. What does it mean that you don't have a mom with whom you have no romantic connection, of course, and she's a different gender? That's a particular experience. You're growing up with a nurturing mother as a boy. We as a society, with no psychological data about what it means to not have that, have said it's not important. How can that be?
Right, because you have the judicial branch of our government is not supposed to have the emotional component in it, perhaps. But the fact that there's outrage because of Parent 1 and Parent 2 does not surprise me, especially in Tennessee. You would expect something like this to be visited as traditionally in a more liberal state, but in Tennessee they had a lot of blowback, and now it's being reconsidered by something called the Domestic Relations Committee.
Well, the Domestic Relations Committee should talk to the Science Committee, because we have to study this, Brian. And don't think it stops with Parent 1 and Parent 2. I'm the first one who said gay marriage rationally paves the way for polygamy. It has to. If love is the basis of a union, then it's not Parent 1 and Parent 2. It can be Parent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 11. Because how can you discriminate against a group of people who are in love and want to raise a baby? Now, some people would say, exactly, why would you? Let's have that. But listen, if we're going in that direction, can we get some scientific data to support it?
Right. And what about people watching right now, Dr. Keith, who are saying, so what? I know I'm the mom. I know I'm the dad. I don't care what the form says, Parent 1 or Parent 2. What do you say to those people?
What I say to those people is, listen, you may say that, but we're creating a very confusing situation for young people in America. The entire country is essentially losing its mind and losing sight of reality. And we're going to find out what that means for the next generation, but we might find out too late.
So far, problem averted, or at least put on hold. We'll find out what the Domestic Relations Committee branch of the judicial...
The Domestic Relations Committee.
How they decide what's going to happen in the long run.
Disband them.
Yeah, Dr. Keith Ablow, thanks so much.
All right, Brian.